I think one of the other misunderstandings of the ENFJ, and I think NFs generally, from other types, is that ENFJs, it's like it's perceived that their personalities are somehow disingenuous, that wishy-washiness or they can change because they can sort of change to suit their environment, that they're sort of chameleon-like and in some ways are dishonest or disingenuous to themselves and to other people. I think that's simply just a lack of understanding on how NFs are as a group of people and as ENFJs are specifically. I guess a way that I sort of see it or like to illustrate it is some of the other personality types, especially people with SI and SE as sort of their more dominant functions, and probably also to a certain extent NTs as well, but really people outside of the NF paradigm, there's more of a sort of solidness to their personalities. It's like it's a bit more set in concrete, like pillars, and it's depending on the type, but it's fairly immovable. And there are those types and those people's values and core beliefs in that solidness. For the NFs, I see the personality, if you like, is a lot more malleable, but completely intact. It's not. It doesn't so much change as so much as it changes shape. But everything, all the person's values, their characteristics, their core beliefs, all of that stays intact, but it moves around within this malleable shape. So the way I see it is that the NFs and ENFJs are completely themselves whilst things are moving around. And I think what I'm trying to get at with it is that an ENFJ in a certain situation reads, with their NI and their FE, reads the terrain and gets the insight and understands what is going on. And depending on what that situation needs, certain values or beliefs or styles either become more exemplified or more diminished depending on what the situation needs. So it's not that the ENFJ or NFs generally pretend to be someone they're not. It's that certain parts of themselves are able to be more present or more diminished based on what they think the situation needs. Maybe another way to describe that is like a cuttlefish that can change colour to suit its surroundings. Whether it's blending into coral or blending into sand or blending into whatever, it's still a cuttlefish. But it's using what it has to fit the environment the best way it can. So to summarise, other types are like sort of solid pillars. Their core beliefs and their values are sort of set and solid, and they don't move a lot, and everything kind of revolves around that solidness. Whereas for NFs and ENFJs specifically, the personality is more fluid, more adaptable, or more malleable in a way that suits the environment. whilst at the same time being totally true to themselves at the same time. And I think, in a way, that's being an NF. I get that, and I don't see it as wishy-washy. I just see it as a trait that's very beneficial to the world and to the people in an NF's world. Just as that solidness in other types, that lack of movement is also necessary and helpful for the world. So I see them both as valid and necessary.